What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today for you guys, I'm going to play you the tips and tricks on, or just how to improve on Fortnite. Not because y'all are bots, y'all are definitely not bots. If you do play Fortnite, I'm going to just type in tips and tricks for Fortnite, and I'm not gonna type in which console or PC because I'm just gonna go and do 25 tips and tricks for the new Fortnite season. Let's see, 20 Fortnite tips to dominate every fight. Okay, I'm going to play this video by Ceice, Ceice. So, good job. I've chosen Ceice for your video to be represented on my A-Shot Gaming video, and I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys. And I might stop sometimes to give you some comments. Anyways, let's get right into the video. And if you like more videos like this,
These are my 20.
Make sure to like the video, and can't really tell you have to subscribe, but it would be awesome if you do. But obviously, I can't force you to, But anyways, let's get right into the video here, and alright. 20 Fortnite tips to dominate every fight.
These are my 20 pro tips to help you be the best fighter in Fortnite. If you want to be any good at Fortnite, you need to be able to fight. And it's not all about triple edits and flashy mechanics. Some of the absolute best fighters in the world use the most simple mechanics. I'll be showing you 20 pro tips that are going to help you win more fights. Tip number 1. Let's start with baits. Fortnite players are
Alright, baits. I think I've actually heard of this tip before, I just haven't really used it.
so predictable. When I drop down on a box, I'll pull out my pickaxe and then immediately switch back to my shotgun. So many times, players will just open up an edit as soon as they see you drop down, expecting you to hit the wall. And
Dude, that's actually kind of smart, just pulling out your pickaxe, and then once they edit, just shoot them.
that's why showing him your pickaxe and then switching straight to your shotgun will get you an easy shot. Tip
Dang, that's actually smart.
number 2. Another great way to bait opponents is to instantly reset edits. This can be done both defensively and offensively. Let's say there's a player boxed up. You take their wall, then instead of opening an edit for a shot, you open an edit and then immediately reset the wall. And 9 times out of 10, the opponent will shoot at you and break your wall. All you need to do is hold the wall to claim it back, or you can time it and shoot them right after the wall breaks. This is going to give you a big chunk of damage. Tip number 3.
Okay, that's also very smart. Yeah, we could definitely try that. So just bait them into breaking the wall, or thinking you would just reset and then hit, but you would actually reset and then they would break the wall and then shoot them back. Wow.
This tip I'm about to share with you works way too often. When I'm in a fight, I'll leave a wall open on purpose, like you can see here, and the player will always try to drop on that wall. And because I'm baiting the player with this, I place the wall before they can, and then I quickly box them. This turns it into an easy and quick kill.
Wait.
Place the wall before they can, and then I quickly box them. And because I'm baiting the player with this, I place the wall before they can, and then I quickly box them. This turns
Hold on, wait. What? I don't get this. Let me watch.
it into an easy and quick kill. Tip number 4. This is what I like to call the cone slide. If you don't already know what this is going to be an absolute game changer. So if you didn't know, you can actually put cones under walls. If there's an opponent on ground level without a cone in their box, look right below the wall and place a cone. This move right here is going to take a lot of pressure in their box. You can actually put cones under walls. If there's an opponent on ground level
So there's no cones in the opponent's box right now?
without a cone in their box, look right below the wall and
Wait, right below the
place
wall.
a cone. This move right here is going to take a lot of practice. You got to sit in creative and practice this until you get it down every single time. And most of the time when you do this, the opponent will freak out, and then you can easily take the wall from him. And of course, since you already have a cone in their box, you control the fight. Tip number 5. Just like I mentioned in the last one where you can place cones under walls, you can also place cones over walls. Cones have the furthest reach of any build type. When you're standing in a box, open up your cone. Then put your crosshair right on top of the wall and build a cone. Of course, this is much easier when you have a cone already placed in your box, so you have that little bit of elevation. And there is so much that you can use this for. Tip number 6. One of the best uses for the cone reach is called the calc cone. And shout out to Young Calc for this. When you're in a build fight, either you or the other players will place walls in front of you. Then you can place 3 cones over the enemy's walls. So you're going to want to start by using the last tip, Put your crosshair right over the wall directly in front of you, and then move to the left or right while keeping your crosshair over the wall.
I think it is okay if you don't like edit the code like you just did. I think it might be okay if you guys don't, if it's too much work, but you can definitely do it, but I don't think it's necessary. You can just go ahead and just like move your mouse or controller around so that you place cones on like in front of you on all sides.
If done properly, you'll have placed 3 cones. One in front,
Added that
one
in the
diagonal,
Ooh.
and one to the right or the left. This is going to stop the enemy entirely from building up and will give you automatic high ground. And then all you have to do is edit through the cones for a shot or wait for them to make a move. Tip number 7.
Okay.
You have to stop being so predictable. Most players will do the exact same thing. Box up, make a peanut butter or window edit, and go for a shot. And everyone is expecting
Unpredictable. That is something that I hear a lot because peanut butter edits or like peaks are they're very useful, but they're so widely known that they might just jump into your box and they won't really do anything. Or also, just editing through that, they can also shoot you back. So this tip 7 is very great. It's
that.
awesome.
While this might not always be the best edit to make, it's important to switch it up from time to time. Try doing a bottom corner edit or a top row. Being unpredictable is just as important as your aim, especially when you're fighting the same player over and over again. Tip number 8. The next tip is another way to be unpredictable. Never double pick.
Yes, that's what I also hear. Never double pickaxe. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this, guys. So, if you double pickaxe them, you could either break the wall, which the opponent will just shoot you, or they can double. What you want to do is pickaxe the wall once and then automatically switch to your shotgun. Wait for them if they don't switch to your pickaxe real quick. Swing, like break the wall one time. If it breaks, take the wall, but if it doesn't break, just switch to the shotgun. Never double pickaxe.
When actively fighting another player, the easiest way to pre-fire somebody is when they double pickaxe your wall. We've all played this game for long enough to know the timing on a double pickaxe. So when you're attacking the wall, just don't do it. There are so many different ways to switch it up. You can pickaxe and then pull out your burst. You could pickaxe, pull out your shotgun, back to pickaxe. You could fake pickaxe swing, then you swing, and then hold your shotgun out to shoot and pre-fire them. You guys understand the point. Now, of course, there are times where you should ignore this rule. Say the enemy is reviving in a box or trying to pop heals, then go ahead and double pickaxe, but be careful of getting pre-fired. Tip number 9. Now let's reverse that last tip. If a player is double pickaxing your wall, then of course you should be pre-firing them. Pre-fires are super important to slow down pressure or turn the tide in a fight. The more you play, the more you'll get used to players' tendencies. Whether it's a pickaxe or weapon spray, you should always try to pre-fire. Tip number 10. Now this one might sound crazy, but let players jump in your box.
Let players jump into your box. I know, that does sound crazy, which I don't get, but let players jump into your box. That is very interesting.
When they run out of ammo. Let's say an opponent is trying to jump in your
when they run out
box
of
while spraying an
ammo.
SMG. Pay attention to how long they've been spraying for, and once they're about to run out of ammo, let them in your box. And then when they're in your box, they're gonna have to pull out their shotgun because they won't have anything else to pressure with. Tip number 11. The next tip is where you position yourself in box fights. You always want to be to the left of the opponent with them on your right. This is because Fortnite has a third-person POV with a right shoulder preference. This means when you're peeking to the right, you're going to expose less of your body than when you're peeking to the left.
Yeah, so that's just like a right-hand peek. A lot of pro players use and also players use.
When you're setting up for a fight or working for a better position, you're always going to want to wind up here for better angles. Tip number 12.
That is true, but also at the same time, for
a better position,
way you can,
you're always going to want to wind up here
you can actually see. You can't, because you're so like high up, and also almost half of your screen is being blocked by the wood. It's kind of hard to like shoot the opponent, especially if your aim's not the best. But it definitely can have its cons to it, and also there are a lot of stuff because this is very like well known. A lot of players can just jump into your box and either like use an SMG or shotgun. They could just jump into your box, or they can just position themselves, I'm pretty sure, on the other side of the wall, and then once you jump back down, they jump up and shoot you, which is definitely not good. But if you're like in this situation, like that far, positioning is very important, and this right or the right hand or left hand peek can be very useful.
Better angles. Tip number 12. I say
Number
this a ton,
12.
but not everyone does it still.
Cone in
Always
your box.
fight with a
Yes,
cone in your
cone in your
box.
box,
If not,
always.
your opponent will quickly realize and put a cone or ramp in your box.
Yes, this is very important. Cone in your box, even if because if the enemy, let's say, takes your wall or starts spraying like into your box, for extra security, you can just like edit the cone, like the 4-2 tiles, and then you can make just like you can make a ramp with your cones, and then either add it outside, up, or even or backwards. Just try to make more space. The more space, which is easier for you to escape and then re-counter. And then cones they're very good. They're very good. And once if they jump into your box, you can also edit them so they don't just jump into your box to spray or just one pump you with a shotgun. And also uh Ceice, I think, said that if you don't have anything in your box like a cone, they could place a cone in your box and or a stair, which definitely they will definitely have the advantage over you if they place anything in your own box. So
By
yeah,
this point in
that's
Fortnite,
quite
this should be
useful.
an automatic thing. And you might say, well, I don't like to fight with a cone in my box. I hate to break it to you, but you gotta get used to it. Keep practicing with cones in your boxes. Tip number 13. The next tip is to build muscle memory for pre-placing
Muscle
builds.
memory.
There's going to be certain edit and build combinations that have an immediate follow-up to them. For example, you have double edits on your opponent, and then of course, you're going to edit the floor and edit the cone to shoot. So after this, what do you think the follow-up moves should be? Well, there's two options. Number one, if you hit a big shot, then you should expect that the player is going to run out of the box. So you should be pre-piecing the double edit to the left or to the right so you can finish the fight quickly. And number two, if you take a bunch of damage, your first move should be to close the edits and place the wall in front of you. This is going to give you an extra layer of protection and more time to heal. Tip number 14,
Alright.
always be
Good tip,
active.
good tip.
You should always be doing something during a fight.
Stay active.
This could even be building, healing, editing, shooting, reloading. The list can go on and on. Most of this is obvious, but if you get a second to relax, then you should be reloading your shotgun, checking your material count, and making sure zone isn't an issue. And even when you're not really doing
that is
anything,
very
checking the
true.
small things like your mats and zone while reloading will help you win more fights. Tip number 15. This next tip is super helpful for in-game fights.
Proper
Let's say you're playing the
spacing.
solo victory cash cup. There's you and two other opponents. You're fighting one player, and player two is spraying you from 50 meters away. You should always put one player between yourself and player two. This is important so you're always positioning yourself outside of the fight. This will limit damage coming in from the third party and will give you a chance to run if the fight goes bad. Tip number 16.
That is very
Now let's
useful,
talk about your
especially
position.
if you're like in tournaments where people they just third party on you and it's so bad, and the other players they could be good or they're just spraying and then you can't really do anything. This is actually pretty useful.
Within the box. There's going to be a big difference between standing against the wall and going for a shot or standing in the back of your box and going for a shot. Both can be very useful, but different positions are going to mean different edits. So when you're at the back of the box, you're going to want to stand behind the cone and make either a bottom right or bottom left edit. This will give you easy toe shots and quick damage. Now, when you're right against the wall, you're going to want to use either window edits or a peanut butter edit. The best way to play when you're close against the wall is just quickly jiggle peeking or close the edit and retreat back behind the builds.
Yes.
Tip
'cause
number 17.
when you're
Use
like when you're toward the others, not the front, but like the back of the box. If you just crouch a little, I think that the cone can actually block a lot of your body, which can block the shots of the enemy, which is really useful. And then you can just shoot back because I'm pretty sure the aim when you're like behind the cone is actually a lot still. So
Use left and right windows, not the middle one. First of all, the middle window is basically a 50-50 edit. This is going to expose yourself way more than you need to. The left and the right windows are smaller and show less of your body to the opponent. This is going to help you win more trades, and even if they get damage back to you, this doesn't mean that you should never use the middle window. Of course, the middle window is still great for opening up and sliding a cone through, for example. This tip is specifically when you're going for a shot. Tip number 18. This one is important for both offense and defense. Learn your phases. The most common is to use a ramp phase into a box when someone's holding their wall. You build a ramp behind you and break the wall while jumping forward. This will phase you right through the wall and put you straight into their box. And the reason why I mention this as defensive is that you need to know what to do when this happens to you. Of course, there are a ton of phases
because I didn't really get that.
when you're going for a shot. Learn your phases. The most common is to use a ramp phase into a box when someone's holding their wall. You build a ramp behind you and break the wall while jumping forward. This will phase you right through the wall and put you straight into their box. And the reason why I mention this as defensive is that you need to know what to do when this happens to you. Of course, there are a ton of phase tricks, so let me know in the comments if I should make a video covering phasing. Tip number 19. Our second to last tip is going to get you in the habit of building high walls. In one of my most recent videos, I go over specific uses for the high wall, but in general, they're great for controlling pieces ahead of yourself and opponents in build fights. Like we talked about earlier, the reach of cones is extremely important for catching enemies. The high wall has a similar use. You can predict a player's movement, then throw a high wall in front of them, and you own the edit to get the damage off. It's all about piece control and being able to get those builds that your opponent can't. Tip number 20. Before I share this last tip, I just want to thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or you want to learn more, I'm always available in my Ceice Thesis Discord. We do regular VOD reviews every single Tuesday, than you. It is so easy to just absolutely destroy one of your friends, but it isn't always going to help you if you're just killing them every time.
Because if you keep practicing with like your level, or at least not you like not a good level, like maybe a little not better than you, you won't practice, and you won't know better, and like when you fight better players, you'll like learn more, and then I guess try to adapt more so you'll be better at Fortnite, I guess. It depends if you're playing box fights or piece control, but either way, if you're playing with better players, I know you might get clipped sometimes, but it's okay. You like learn more than, especially if you add them, they can talk to them. They can actually teach you too, which is great.
This might be a good warm-up, but you have to challenge yourself if you want to get better. Fighting a better player is going to help you learn new things, force you to think while fighting, adapt to different play styles, and help you work on good habits. If you can't find a player better than you to fight, well, you're probably lying. But if that's 100% true, then you might be the greatest fighter alive. And even if you are the GOAT, you should always be fighting different players to change up your practice. I promise you that if you implement these tricks, you'll become a better fighter. The deeper your bag is, the more dangerous you.
Alright, tip 1, bait. Tip 2, instantly reset edits. Tip 3, empty wall. Tip 4, cone slide. Tip 5, cone over walls. Tip 6, calc cone. Tip 7, be unpredictable. Tip 8, never double pickaxe. Tip 9, pre-firing. Tip 10, let players jump into your box. Tip 11, positioning. Tip 12, cone in your box always. Tip 13, build muscle memory. Tip 14, stay active. Tip 15, proper spacing. Tip 16, box positioning. Tip 17, use left-right windows. Tip 18, learn your phases. And tip 19, high walls. And tip 20, fight better players. These are all awesome tips. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and end the video here.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you liked these tips, definitely use them.
Your bag is, the more dangerous.
Because he definitely did. He did great. Ceice, you did great on telling this video. These are all definitely very helpful tips, and make sure to remember these and piece some of your friends up with these tips, and just get better, I guess. And thank you guys for watching today's video. Make sure to like the video and hopefully subscribe. And if you want me to make more of these videos, or whatever videos you want, you can just type in the comments, which I will turn them off for you guys. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. See you.